We're here. We made it. We were a couple of minutes behind, and I do apologize for that because I know everybody's got stuff to do. I was kind of caught up in the biggest football game of the day. No, not Tennessee, Florida. Coastal Carolina and Brigham Young being played over at Coastal Carolina, who just didn't even have a program 20 years ago. They're ranked in the top 25. They win tonight will probably assure them of a New Year's Six bowl game because they will be the highest ranked group of 5 team. So Tennessee just scored. I mean, the game's almost over, so who gives a shit anyway? Florida, not impressive today, but, hell, they're playing Tennessee, who is just struggling, and it sucks. Welcome to Jump Into the Fire for Saturday night. Ron Hall here. Hope y'all are having a great Saturday. What a beautiful day it was. An absolutely gorgeous day in the Chattanooga area. Some interesting tidbits. 362 new cases yesterday. There's no reporting for whatever reason on Saturday. I don't know what the hell the problem is, but the health department, along with the CDC, has now recommended if you are in close contact with someone who has tested positive to quarantine yourself for 7 to 10 days, not 14. A little bit of a silver lining there, perhaps. But the most disturbing part is the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office had been doing the bulk of the contact tracing for the Hamilton County Health Department, and now they have said they can't do it anymore because they are too overwhelmed. So what do we do now? Makes you wonder how things are going to be, going on down the road. Hello, Kim. Good to see you here tonight. We got quite a few people watching. Just everybody chime in. Tell us who you are. Where are you from? All that good stuff. I'm still dumbfounded that the city of Ringgold had a parade last night. I'm dumbfounded. I don't understand why they felt the need to put people in harm's way. Search me. But after last night's playoff action, Calhoun's the only North Georgia team still left. In Tennessee, kudos to McCallie, back-to-back state champions. First time that's ever happened with a Chattanooga area school being back-to-back state champs. South Pittsburgh lost yesterday, and the last report I saw, Meigs County was losing to Peabody for the second year in a row. So, unfortunately, the poor kids in Tennessee have to go play at that pigsty up in Cookeville. That is Tennessee Tech, a stadium that is probably close to at least 60 to 70 years old, antiquated. Press box facilities are crap. The media room is a tent down at the end zone, a tent. Just doesn't make sense, does it? And it's called the Blue Cross Bowl, and the Nimrods up there on Cameron Hill won't exert any kind of pressure on the TSSAA to play those games in Chattanooga. At least Finley Stadium would be a whole lot better than Tennessee Tech Stadium. Get to Chattanooga than it would be to Cookeville. Because it's not easy to get from Chattanooga to Cookeville. It's really not. unless you want to drive out of your way and go up 24 or 75 and then cut across. Otherwise, you got to go up 27 over 111 there in the mountains and do it that way. And then you risk the speed traps of Soddy Daisy and Dunlap and Sparta and all that good stuff. So, but now we're going to have to wait and see how high school basketball is going to play off. Some of it has been announced, some of it hasn't. There's been a reduction by the Southern Conference in conference games that are going to be played for basketball this year because of the growth in the number of COVID cases. They want to cut the risk as much as possible. So, interesting tidbit today. Seems that the president has called governor of Georgia, asking him to declare the election null and void. Not won a case yet. Most of them already thrown out of court on this election fraud thingy that he's trying to perpetuate across the country. Give me 1 second. I'm doing something here. That's got it. But it is interesting that now he's just trying to exert pressure, name calling, and all of this stuff. Please, for the love of God, the election is over. Let it go. Please. Haven't we been through enough in 2020 with COVID and now this crap? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Looks like we may be, folks, I'm sorry, I'm going to have my cigar. We may be getting close to a new stimulus package. It seems they are moving forward, and hopefully by the end of next week, it will be passed and there can be some help, because there are people out there hurting, and it's going to take Uncle Sam throwing in like he did earlier, and because all of these things are coming to an end with the mortgage and the landlord forbearance and everything else, and people are needing some help. I mean, you only have to glance at the news and see that in so many major cities, food lines, not Food Lion, food lines. I know you got the Community Kitchen, the Chattanooga Area Food Bank, Red Bank Baptist Church has been having food box giveaways, and it's kind of sad that in a country like ours that people don't know where their next meal's coming from. Now, I had a good dinner tonight. Am I the only one out there that loves shepherd's pie? If you like shepherd's pie, go to Aldi. They've got, it's frozen, 14 minutes in the microwave. It is delicious. Shepherd's pie is awesome. But life is back to normal for my family, Amy, Chastity, and little Ashley. Unfortunately, Amy has lost her job, and there's nothing. She was hired and supposed to start 2 days after she was diagnosed with COVID. After the 14-day quarantine, they said we couldn't hold it for you. So, see, Kim likes shepherd's pie. I love it. And that's all you need. That is all you need. You don't have to have anything to go with it. It's all there, one dish. But then again, I'm one of those strange people. I actually like there's some hamburger helpers that I like. You know? Now, growing up, my mom cooked every freaking night. I was one of those lucky guys. Dad went to, I was very lucky. Dad went to work, Mom stayed home. We had breakfast in the morning before we went to school, if we wanted it. And if I knew my cousin Ann were watching, I'd say oatmeal. Because more often than not, breakfast during the school week was oatmeal and toast. And the only change was holidays, and Dad, we didn't have turkey on Thanksgiving. We had ham for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And Dad was in charge of cooking the ham. Low and slow all night long. You'd wake up Thanksgiving morning or Christmas morning, and you could smell the ham throughout the house. And then Dad would slice off some of it, and we'd have it for breakfast. Fry up some, quick fry some of that ham, scrambled eggs. Oh, yeah. Mom made the biscuits because Dad couldn't do squat with biscuits. And my mom didn't believe in canned biscuits. My mother, she made those biscuits. But if you're at Aldi, go pick up some of that shepherd's pie. It's pretty good. It really is. And at my advanced age, I'm not going to try to fix a shepherd pie from scratch anyway. So, like I told you, Sheriff's Office is begged off now on contact tracing COVID patients in Hamilton County. I know in some municipalities, they're actually using debt collection agencies to do contact tracing. But we did have some good news this week. If all of you remember, back a couple of weeks ago, when we awarded Mr. Jay Greason of Press Row on ESPN 105.1 here in Chattanooga and the Chattanooga Times Free Press, we awarded him Turkey of the Year. Well, guess what's happened? And I did not wish this upon him. It's sad in a way, but sometimes you can let your mouth overload your ass. And in this instance, he does a daily thing on the online edition of the Times Free Press called the 5 at 10. It's his little attempt to bring some news and notes that he thinks are important to sports or pop culture or whatever. He has a Rushmore for everything. It's like one this week was the Rushmore of Ben Stiller movies. Ben Stiller Now we're back. Don't know what happened. A little technical malfunction, but everybody is not Rushmore worthy. Okay. Got that out of the way. Hello, Janice. Now, where I was going with that was yesterday's, I noticed, I tuned into Press Row a couple of times to see if he ever responded, because I know he was told he was the Turkey of the Year, and I know he caught unbelievable grief from the general public for his comments about Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian and his alcoholism. But he wasn't there this week. Or he was there Monday, but after that he was gone. Because Thanksgiving Day in his 5 at 10, he decided to, this is what he says. I still think that his attempt at humor, hi Cindy, that his attempt at humor based on a man's alcoholism played into this decision. I don't ever wish this upon anybody, but Tuesday, Brewer Broadcasting looked at Jay Greason and said, "You're fired." So the Turkey of the Year was fired by ESPN 105.1. The guy, honestly, I think he believed he was above any repercussions if he decided to bash one of his places of employment. He decided to criticize everything nationally about ESPN radio, and management at Brewer didn't like it. And also, they did not like the fact that he made a man's alcoholism the butt of a joke on the air. So, Jay Greason fired. I hate it happened to him, but at a certain point, you have to pick your battles. So now we are still taking nominations for Douchebag of the Year. You can direct message me at RZR Hall on Twitter. You can direct message me any nominations you might have for Douchebag of the Year. We have so far David Toulis of Nougat Radio 92.7. The aforementioned Mr. Greason. Multiple failure political candidate Weston Wamp. And we have a possible new nominee, and that was one of the people who led the protests, who has been summarily fired now by the Chattanooga Bicentennial Library because he was caught burning books by conservative authors. You can't do things like that, C. Grimey. You want everybody to have a voice, but the voice you don't want to hear. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Books are out there for us to read. Then we formulate our own opinions. You have no authorization to go burning books. This is not Fahrenheit. He was let go Tuesday, Barry. He announced it in his column or in his 5 at 10 in the online edition yesterday. He has now been filled in. He has now, well, and what has happened is Douchebag of the Year nominee Weston Wamp now has a show on from 2 to 3. Why? I've listened to his Saturday morning show, The Pitch. Number one, he never talks about anything. No, he was fired, Barry. He was fired. He admits he was fired. But the only thing they talk about on The Pitch is University of Tennessee crap. That's it. Never talks anything local. He doesn't give the Chattanooga Mocs a passing mention, although he'll try to ride their damn coattails just like he rides his daddy's coattails. I'm a failed political candidate. I did not win Tennessee House of Representatives District 29. But, yeah. So C. Grimy Williams, I believe is his name, is now in consideration for Douchebag of the Year. If Rusty Parkhill is out there tonight, I want to throw something up because Rusty has decided to join, and no, I don't have it. Nobody right now is joining Paschal Barry. Barry's one of the good guys from my years doing television. Barry's one of the good guys. And Chattanooga's blessed with what they have right now. And right now, they're not talking about a replacement. They're just giving Weston Wamp a show from 2 to 3. So that means we're going to have to put up with his dad probably 3 or 4 days a week. They're not, it's ESPN radio. ESPN radio. That means it's sports centric. But more often than not, Weston Wamp talks politics. And he is the whiniest little brat. But watch him on Twitter. He's always whining about people over the age of 55 or 60. How they're ruining the country. Well, this 64-year-old man thinks he could do a damn better job as a congressman than you ever wanted to be, Weston Wamp. When little Chucky Flashman kicked your ass every time in the primaries. But it is what it is. And now North Georgia is privileged to have one of those young whippersnappers. He's 24 years old, and he's the state representative for Dade and Walker County. His name is Colton Moore, who has sent a letter to the governor demanding that the legislature be given the authority to investigate the presidential election results in the state of Georgia. It's been recounted. It's over. And number one, I'm coming at this from a logical point, okay? Those late vote totals were coming from Atlanta and the counties that surround Fulton. And we all know that entire area is blue. It's not red. And it takes a lot longer to count votes from the Atlanta metro area just based on the number of people. Why they did a hand recount in Catoosa County is beyond me. That is a blood red county. Nothing was going to change. It went overwhelmingly for the president. Nothing was going to change it. So why did they even bother to do 2 recounts in Catoosa County? But now the president has seen fit to attack Governor Kemp, who I truly despise, and the Republican Secretary of State, who had supported President Trump 4 years ago and gave him money. Let's just move on. This shit is ending the year on a worse note than it could already be. COVID has done enough. COVID has done enough to wreck 2020. This is only making it worse. Yesterday, we lost another one. I mean, my God, we've already lost James Bond. Yesterday, we lost Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley. David Lander passed away. Rest in peace, Squigmund. That was the Laverne and Shirley was Laverne and Shirley. It wasn't great writing. It was just designed to make you laugh. That's all it was. It wasn't giving life lessons like Seinfeld tried to do. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It was during the heyday of broadcast television, long before there was really any cable television. Okay? So it was what it was, kind of like Happy Days. And Lenny and Squiggy were great characters. They were Dumb and Dumber before Jim Carrey and crap. Now I had a brain fart and can't remember the guy's name that played Dumber. Jeez. Because he's a really good actor. He's currently on Broadway reprising the role of Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird. Although it's kind of been altered a little bit, and that's due to the fact that Aaron Sorkin is behind it. And Aaron Sorkin has his bent on things, but he did bring us one of the greatest television series of all time, The West Wing. So, and Jeff Daniels. See, I knew I would remember it. Before there was Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, there was Michael McKean and David Lander, Lenny and Squiggy. So rest in peace, Squigmund. Titans play tomorrow. Big win over the Colts last week. They are in the driver's seat to win the AFC South. The Falcons still suck buttermilk. And it's interesting to see what happened. I don't see Allen out there, but I know he was tickled to death that Steve Borden showed up on AEW. He's did sign a long-term contract with AEW. Hello, Rhonda Swaney. I hope you're feeling better, sweetheart. He did sign a long-term contract with AEW, and at 61 years of age, his contract, they are going to protect Sting. He's not going to take any bumps. He has spinal stenosis. He has a bad neck, and he's going to be a character. So that should really pump up things over at AEW, and anything they can do to draw away from the WWE is fine by me, because that is starting to become an unwatchable product. So let's see how they go with that. Don't forget, Monday night, we will be joined by this young man, Camden Smith, and his first release will be coming out in January. I Don't Want to Miss You. Camden will be with us Monday night at 7 o'clock right here on Jump Into the Fire. And hopefully next Thursday night, we will be joined by my son Chris and Eddie T from over in England. They are the hosts of Scream Time Horror Podcast, talking all things horror movies. So hopefully next Thursday night, Chris and Eddie T will be joining us from England. Chris lives here in Red Bank. His buddy Eddie lives in England. Just so you don't get confused and think I've got a son living in England, because that's on my bucket list. I would love one time to go to England and walk across the street at the Abbey Road Studios, just like John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Just once. But I'm not going to fly. I'm damn sure not going to fly over an ocean. That's for damn sure. So don't forget, Monday night, Camden Smith. And then hopefully Thursday night, Chris and Eddie T with Scream Time Horror Podcast will be joining us right here on Jump Into the Fire. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I do apologize for being a couple of minutes late. Be honest with you, I ate that shepherd's pie, laid down for a few. At 7 o'clock with another Jump Into the Fire. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget, if you need personal or business insurance, call my buddy Kai Edwards at Reliable Insurance and Expertise, Rise Insurance. If you want a high-end automobile, Jag, Land Rover, or Porsche, call my friend Nicole Albert at Jaguar Land Rover of Chattanooga. So, again, we'll see you Monday night at 7 p.m. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Where are we going, Rhonda? I got to answer that question. Where are we going to go, Rhonda? To Anglin? I found the shepherd's pie, Diane, at Aldi. in the frozen foods. Rhonda, you know how to get in touch with me. You can tell me where we're going. Oh, yeah, I want to go to England, but we'll have to take a boat. I ain't flying. I ain't freaking flying. I'm sorry. So we'll have to take the boat. Okay? If you want to go, we'll figure out a way to do it. Life is too short. Okay. Hey, Rhonda, I'll go anywhere you want to go. I can assure you of that. Oh, yeah. The only thing I'm not eating from over in Great Britain or Scotland, I am damn sure not going to eat haggis. Ain't no way. But until Monday night at 7 o'clock, thanks everybody for tuning in. And as always, please be kind to each other.
That's all, folks.